Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin. Obviously taking an understanding of what's going to happen next year. We came right down to that Fibonacci retracement level of 23,200 as expected. Got filled on our lowest entry point here, so I think we're in really good shape to see the price recover from here. But again, when you have a decline like this, it's not going to bounce back immediately. You got to recognize that. So just try to be patient here, of course, if you did decide to follow that signal. And obviously, if you want to learn more about becoming a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below, you can become a better trader. Essentially looks like this here. And what it is, it's really a great place to be able to kind of learn and grow together. We all have amazing community members here, some awesome features, of course, as well. So I'm super happy to be able to be part of this with my community and kind of just watch how fantastic and amazing people are and how much they're growing. Because again, good trading doesn't happen overnight, right? I know a lot of people will start and they'll try to, get right in, jump head first in. There's a slow, steady process. So trust me on this, you will get to the point where you're going to be seeing some really awesome results. As a matter of fact, majority of our members ramp up quite quickly with my trading academy. Be sure to check that out. You can register for my education subscription and kind of see if that's a feature that you want to pursue. But a lot of folks like the signals and or just the community as well. So that's all kind of part of it if you want to consider that. Cryptocash.tech again is the site. Fantastic news here as well. Recently partnered with Highblock Capital. And we're going to go ahead and start adding some APIs likely to our Discord. So just keep in mind we're going to have some more data like this here moving forward as well, where we reference liquidation levels and specific indications that kind of help us get a leg up in the industry, right? That's the whole key there. All right, so there is all that. Obviously, you want to join in on my, I forgot to mention this too. Congratulations to my 3 members here to take some nice, healthy profits for profit and loss ratio and trading volume based on a competition through, it was BitGet's competition. We're going to start staggering our BitGet and Bybit competitions, so keep that in mind. But that is all features available to my community members. So here's the thing, with 23,200 and on the horizon, or just where the price is at, keep in mind we have a lot of volume at this current level, right? So in this range here, the volume profile, we're starting to see a large amount of volume here, and that is essentially telling us that we are in pretty good shape there based on support in the recent past here. So as you can see, the price wicked down to the lowest possible level there based on the most amount of volume accumulation. So there's a lot of support there at the 22,900 range. Okay, so keep that in mind. That is a very beneficial thing. So not necessarily saying you should buy the dip. That is the lowest entry that I had as a target for my range for a recent long for Bitcoin. So just give you perspective there, 23.2 I feel should hold. We might see a slight decrease, but generally speaking, a lot of volume there gives us support. Keep in mind also, traditional markets are down pretty heavy today. 2% isn't super heavy, but for a regular market, it is. So you just got to keep in mind that losing that support level there at 12,100 for NASDAQ was essentially disadvantageous. We might see the price retrace down to about the 11,850 range, which could push Bitcoin down a little bit further. But for the most part, Bitcoin's holding at that support, and that's important. All right, so right where we're at here, we can kind of see that this is a point of contention, right? So we've established we've got a good amount of volume at this level. With the price action coming down to 50 as well on the RSI, this is a great sign telling us that, hey, we might see a bounce here. But of course, money flow index is still high, really just kind of giving us the indication that there's still a great chance the price should stay in the range that it's at. If we take a look at the MACD here, though, it is definitely diverging. Keep in mind, divergences on larger time frames are more impactful. Okay, so in this sense here, this could imply that we might see further downside. It doesn't necessarily explain the fact that we should come down lower, but it does tell us that there's potential for it. So we lose support at 50 on the RSI, just say that 23,000 is a round number range, then we're going to potentially see further downside. Between now and then, I think we should be all right though. Let's go and take a look at the moving averages, kind of see where we're at. Excuse me. So we can see we're bouncing essentially off the 20-day simple moving average. Now, I say bounce because obviously this candlestick hasn't closed yet, but generally speaking, it looks like it wants to consolidate at that level. Okay, and that's where the 20 is at. So over the last 20 days, that's essentially the average price. Okay, so it's really actually not a bad thing. So this being a 0.618 level as well for Fibonacci leads me to believe we should see some good support there. So I like the fact that we have the 20 and the 0.618 level. And of course, we got the 50 working itself up here in a slow ascending trend. So we are still on the right side of the tracks. We're not breaking bearish by any sense in this current uptrend, so to speak, but we're not bullish either, right? We got to recognize that we're kind of somewhere in the middle. We're in that gray area, and we probably will be for some time. So in that sense, a lot of times it's range-bound activity that you want to trade within, and unfortunately we lost this range here, but there's a good chance we'll have a new range in this range between 23,000 and 24,000, right? And that's that general approximate. So that's kind of what we're just looking at for the daily, okay? Now with the 4 hour, what we want to look at here as well is some overextension. Because I talked about this recently here, and the fact that once we come down to a certain point, we should see a reset. We did see that 9 here recently, of course, right? That kind of led us to this increase and a decrease. When I covered the coin here yesterday, Bitcoin was trending right at about the 23,800, 24,000 mark. Okay, so it got rejected pretty hard here off this level. Traditional markets opened pretty harsh and came down right as soon as the bell had opened, so to speak, the trading bell. And you can see that the price wicked down pretty hard in the last couple of hours. So what that means for us here with this overextension is that, well, it's not truly overextended yet. We did recently have a 9, so hypothetically we shouldn't see much downside, but there is still potential. Okay, so 4 hours telling us that we might still see a further downside here moving forward. Taking a look, of course, at the RSI, we're coming closer to 30. So with 30 on the RSI on the 4 hour and 50 on the RSI on the 1 day, that's a combination for a reversal. Okay, not a strong combination, don't get me wrong, it's not like the only reason why you take a trade, but if I were to take a trade based on specific indicators, those would be the two that I like to look for on certain time frames, right? So those two time frames essentially kind of tell us that we should see a bounce. We do see the MACD, of course, diverging further. There's still potential for further momentum there. So it really doesn't give us much consolation at all. What we do want to kind of maybe take a quick look here is the moving averages. We got the 200 holding here strong at the 23,200 mark. So again, the 200 on the 4 hour, the 20 on the daily, along with 50 on the RSI on the daily and 30 on the 4 hour, those are all very positive signs here telling us the price shouldn't go much lower. Again, emphasis on shouldn't, because we don't know if that's going to happen or not, but once again, it likely should. Okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to the 1 hour, we want to take a quick peek here. Our TD sequential is not going to really tell us too much here, and the fact that we're going to be extremely overextended because of the fact that we've only had this push down for the last couple of hours. But you can tell that we are making lower highs prior to that, and it makes sense that the price broke down because you can only test a certain level for so many times, right? We covered this yesterday. We keep retesting this level at 23,600. It's going to break eventually. Okay, but I feel comfortable taking an average position down for a long position, of course, because I feel like 23,200 should hold. Again, that's just my personal sentiment. You can disagree. You can absolutely find other reasons to do this. That's the beautiful thing about technical analysis. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Technically, there is wrong ways to do it, but you discover right ways to do it for you and your risk tolerance. Okay, so again, make sure if you are following my signals, you work within our bear market strategy for the moment, and make sure that you understand, generally speaking, that it's not ideal to use large position sizes and crazy large leverage. Now, when you're day trading, different story. We're going to have some trading bots coming out here soon that are going to fulfill that function. Likely some day trading signals as well. We're working on that. That'll come out here soon. But for the moment, with some of those swing trade signals, you got to recognize it takes patience. These things evolve. It takes time. So please just sit back, relax. It's all good. This is very normal, standard stuff. Taking a look, of course, last thing here, of course, is HMO Cloud. This is giving us all indication here to consider keeping your short position open. Okay, so albeit we have some positive stuff on the larger time frames, that takes time to continue or to unfold, right? But for right now, we can see the lagging span is essentially free and clear. We've got the conversion line below the baseline, barely, but still there, and of course we're below the cloud. Okay, so it's going to take a little while, even though the price action will likely go sideways, and I feel maybe try to work itself up and down for a little while. You don't expect it to recover immediately. Okay, and this just doesn't feel like this wants to bounce right back because there's a tremendous amount of liquidations at 23,000, and that really pushed the price action down further. So a lot of longs are kind of timid to get back in, and shorts are essentially maxed out. So we're kind of at this point where this price level should hold. That's my speculation. That's my anticipation. Throughout the weekend, we'll probably see sideways and up. It's generally the case when Fridays have profitable days. You typically see some green Friday evening, Saturdays, and Sundays until the market opens once again Sunday afternoon. Not necessarily the traditional markets, but referring to actual futures. Okay. So that being said, that's kind of where we're at here for Bitcoin for the moment. That's essentially where we're at. Nothing spectacular. I wouldn't say it's dire straits by any stretch. This is a correction that we've been expecting for a very long time, and it makes perfect sense that it's going to continue to come down. Profits get taken. Greed is a very real thing. Okay. That being said, don't be greedy yourself. Let the market movers be greedy and work within those ranges. Okay, those are all things I teach in my trading academy. Be sure to check that out, of course, if you haven't. And hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Try to make the best of it, regardless of what you see here. If you might be down a little bit on a position, that's all very normal. Okay. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next one.